Now on CoastTV News.
A dangerous air quality index in Delaware, how people are trying to stay safe outside.
Pony swim preparations, locals and visitors alike gearing up for the 100th annual swim.
Chincoteague ponies getting their final vet checks before the swim. How many foals are staying with the herd?
And one open house seat with early voting already underway. It's all eyes on the District 20 special election.
And we're going to elaborate on the air quality alert and how it's going to affect you. And we're going to take a look at the latest movement of smoke around our vicinity as well.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
A hot summer day with more than just the sun to worry about. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
Extreme heat has led to air quality alerts in Delaware, levels reaching unhealthy ranges for sensitive groups. As Coast TV's Christina D. Robertus explains, experts urging people to take precautions.
Yeah, and on a day like today, those precautions are especially important for people with respiratory issues, any underlying health conditions, also seniors.
It's very hot and very difficult breathing. As a senior, I think it's more difficult.
Dr. Michael Samaha with Milford Pulmonary and Sleep Consultants is advising people be responsible.
Be conscientious of your breathing because it will get affected, and if it does, do something about it.
Some symptoms to watch out for: you might notice the air feels heavy, chest tightness or coughing and congestion. If you notice those things, try to get inside and get into the air conditioning.
Try to be in a cool environment rather than hot, humid. If your AC is not working, find a place, a friend, somebody that you can be with where there's a cooling station or of some sort.
According to DENREC, today's air quality index in Delaware reached 101. DENREC officials say air quality is expected to improve tomorrow with an index of 77, putting Delaware in the moderate zone. Back to you guys.
And with that heat in mind, we're taking a live look into Laurel. Let's check in with our First Alert Chief Meteorologist, Paul Williams.
Well, it's about the heat and the humidity more so than anything else, not necessarily pollutants. And a lot of people get that confused. I want to clear that up. Like, listen, we're at 94 blistering degrees right now in Laurel, and we're going to stay in the 90s until about 7 o'clock. The air quality alert, that's in effect for Milton, Lewis, Longneck, Ocean View, all the way along Highway 1, but also for the inland areas, especially for the inland areas: Georgetown, Sycamore, Laurel, Bacons, Delmar, Bridgeville, White River Estates, and all these areas. Now, this goes all the way up throughout Kent County and really all the way up until, you get up towards Newcastle and the entire region, including Philadelphia area as well. So here's what's happening. We're in that orange stage for today. Unhealthy for some. This is talking about keep doors and windows closed, limit outdoor activities in shorter times for longer outdoor tasks, take more breaks, and do less intense activities. Very important to please remember that. Now, here's a look at the future smoke, because a lot of folks think it's because of pollutants. No, because you see, our future smoke, we're going to see what kind of smoke in the area. That's going to stay to the north in the Philadelphia area. This is about where we are and where we're going to stay. See, we're at 99 in Redden, 94 in Bridgeville, 92 in Millsboro, but it feels like 109 in Redden. Feels like 109 in Ocean Pines. Feels like 104 in Milton, 105 in Seaford, 101 for us, actually Delmar, and 102 in Salisbury. By the way, when you take a look at the Chincoteague Pony Swim, good thing is it's going to clean up and clear out a little bit more for the swim. But even for that, we're talking about 88 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and still staying on the steamy side. Charlie?
Thank you, Paul. We are now less than a day away from the 100th annual Chincoteague Pony Swim, where people from across Delmarva and across the country, the world, come to see the saltwater cowboys guide the wild ponies across the Assateague Channel. Coast TV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Chincoteague. Brandon, people are now counting down the hours before tomorrow.
Charlie, we are here in downtown Chincoteague, and most of the roads are packed and people are out bicycling in the town, all preparing for tomorrow's pony swim. And you can also do fun and cool things just like here at Funland Amusements. Charlie, we're going to see what prize I can win here. So we got to get 3. There's 1. All right, see if I can get the big prize here. 3, that's a good one. We'll remember that one. Take away one I can pick here. Well, we did catch up with somebody from New York who traveled all the way just for tomorrow's event.
I'm a lifetime horse lover and have owned horses my whole life, so grew up with the Misty lore and always a dream to come visit, and we made it happen this year for the first time.
No. All right, I won myself a turtle, and you could also play of cool and fun games just like this one at the Chincoteague Fairgrounds tonight. The fair starts at 7 and it is free to get in to play fun games and have food, all into anticipation for tomorrow's pony swim. Live in Chincoteague, Brandon Ferguson, Coast TV News.
Before the carnival starts tonight, of course, the vet checks were today at the South Herd Corral. All the ponies got lined up and were checked out for their health. Foals were also selected for the auction that will happen at the fairgrounds where Brandon is. 6 will be buybacks, meaning they will stay living with the herd. One volunteer explains what perks you have if you get a buyback pony.
They have a red dot on them. They will come out for auction, and whoever gets the winning bid, they get to name it. They give it back to the fire department. They get a tax write-in.
The ponies that aren't buybacks are auctioned off, ensuring the herd's population stays in check.
And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what is your favorite part of pony penning week?
Let's take a look at the results so far. Take a look at your screen, and 76% say the pony swim. It's kind of hard to beat that. Though the carnival, where Brandon was, is 8%. Beach walk, which we showed you yesterday, was 8%. And seeing ponies up close is 8% as well.
You know, my option's not on there, though. It's watching Brandon go 3 for 3. Great
I
job,
know, that
my
was
guy.
impressive.
If you haven't voted yet, you can still do that at coasttvnews.com or use our mobile app.
And if you want to watch it but you can't make it, we have you covered. We start coverage at 7 a.m. on the Delmarva Sports Network and on DSN+. Charlie will be in the studio anchoring. I will be live on the dock there in Chincoteague. Join us as saltwater cowboys guide wild ponies across the channel. It's really an incredible sight, very magical, and you can join us for that tomorrow. And hey, guess what? We have a complete guide of all the activities happening this week. Just head right now to our website, coasttv.com. Now to the ongoing race for District 20's open house seat. Democrat Alana Berry and Republican Nikki Miller both actively campaigning. Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken joins us live in Milton. Emma, the special election is 1 week from today, but a lot of people are out voting early.
Maddie, as people head into the polls to cast their ballots, those two names they're seeing are raising several questions on both sides. Both women are running with education experience at the forefront of their campaigns. Miller's a longtime educator and former Cape Henlopen High School principal. She alleges Berry, quote, never held a teaching license. Berry, a former math teacher, instructional coach, and school founder, says she had her initial license and then moved to roles that didn't require a continuing license.
I have my credentials, I have my certification, I never let it lapse. And I would just say, speaking upon me, is that I have the experience in education to be the lead in education, if that's what we're going on.
Like many educators who transition from the classroom into leadership roles, policy, or nonprofit work, there's not a requirement to keep your certificate active. So that was true for me, as it is for many others.
Miller's campaign also expressed concern over her candidate information not being on the Department of Elections website until yesterday morning. Miller said she doesn't believe this was intentional, but still sees how it could raise questions. Berry said she cannot speak on behalf of the Department of Elections, and the Department of Elections themselves tells us this was a human error that they will work to prevent in the future. Reporting live here in Milton, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
New York City police officer and at least 3 other victims are dead after a shooting in a Manhattan office building. The Park Avenue high-rise houses the offices of the NFL. A person with knowledge of the matter says a suspected gunman had a note in his pocket. It reportedly reads, "You can't go against the NFL, they will squash you." That source says it suggests football gave the shooter a brain disease called CTE. Police identified the suspect as 27-year-old Shane Tamura from Las Vegas.
President Trump on his way back from Scotland after a trip of promoting his new family business, a golf course, and talking trade and foreign wars.
As Julie Sirkin reports, the president is promising to aid starving people in Gaza as a new poll shows support dropping for Israel's fighting in the Gaza Strip.
President Trump returning home after a trip to Scotland that mixed the nation's business with the Trump family business. The president opening a new luxury golf resort with his sons.
Thank you, all of the dignitaries and all of my friends.
The White House categorizing the trip as private, though Trump met with global leaders at his golf resorts, and it's paid for by taxpayer dollars. While overseas, the president breaking with U.S. ally Israel, recognizing the thousands of people starving in Gaza, and promising to set up food centers in partnership with the European Union. It's a dire situation, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says is not true. But two prominent Israeli rights groups say their country is committing genocide in Gaza, the first time Jewish-led organizations have used that term. And it isn't just vibes. New polling shows American support for Israeli action in Gaza is dropping. Some lawmakers on Capitol Hill, who have stood with Israel since the October 7th attacks, growing frustrated.
I'm through voting for support for Israel as long as there are starving children in Gaza.
We need to get that humanitarian aid in, relieve the suffering, and we have to find that path forward for the day after.
Others, not so much.
And the people there that are suffering because of Hamas, not because of Israel.
And as the August 1st deadline looms for Trump's tariffs, U.S. and Chinese negotiators ended day 2 of talks. The president maintains tariffs will be good for the economy. One analyst, however, says the U.S. does need to raise revenue, but tariffs are the wrong way to do it.
What they do is they place the burden of paying those tariffs and paying those taxes on low and middle income Americans.
While the trade talks between the U.S. and China did not lead to a breakthrough, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent did say a 90-day extension was in the works, but the president will make the final decision. In Washington, Julie Sturkin, NBC News.
The U.S. is burning almost $10 million worth of birth control. Why the government is destroying supplies that could still be used by women worldwide.
And we're staying steamy for the near future. More on what I'm tracking coming up.
But first, federal cuts in grocery stores. Why House Republicans say a new law will restore integrity. Up next.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, is the largest anti-hunger program in America. But the recent passage of President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill will result in the largest cuts the program has ever seen.
CNN's Ivan Rodriguez shows us how these cuts could impact families and also our local economies.
For the last 86 years, SNAP has helped millions of low-income families buy nutritious food.
It fills a crucial food gap for the most vulnerable people in our country.
James Ziliak is the director of the Center for Poverty Research. He says SNAP has served as an economic driver for local grocery stores and communities. In 2023, SNAP accounted for $124 billion in sales at 262,000 retailers, half of which were at superstores such as Walmart, while a quarter went to supermarkets. If recipients no longer have access to SNAP, it could lead to an economic hit for some communities.
That's going to reduce spending at those local stores and therefore could create some economic hardship and even in the most extreme case, potential closures of those markets.
House Republicans say the new law will restore integrity to the program and benefit grocers by pushing more people to work. New work requirements expand to parents with children older than 13 and people ages 55 to 64. But studies show work requirements for SNAP do not increase employment.
People don't jump into the labor force in big droves when they get confronted with work requirements. But what they do tend to do is drop out of the program altogether. They're going to become more reliant on food pantries or churches or other charitable organizations to provide assistance.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Here's a look at your Bay forecast, staying steamy for Wednesday with some scattered showers and thunderstorms kicking in by Thursday and Friday. But we're looking at a near 20-degree difference here. I'm going to explain why that is when we come back. Although it's a beautiful horizon, it's the air quality that's the biggest concern that we have from a meteorological standpoint for today. Our tunnel and razor camera in Lewis, we're going to stay in the 90s until we get to, let's say, 8 o'clock when the sun goes down. Then we'll finally slip our way and ease into the 80s by then under mostly clear skies. It's about the heat and the humidity and the combination of the two making it hard to breathe, particularly for those who have chronic breathing problems and those of us who are elderly. And as Ricky Bobby say, I are one of them too, okay? You know, we're looking at 89, for example, in Lewis. We're looking at 93 Bridgeville, 93 right now in Laurel, 91 in Delmar. But it feels like 100 in Delmar. It feels like 103 actually in Seaford. It feels like 109 in Redden. And the same holds true for us actually in Ocean Pines. So look at this muggy meter. We're staying to very humid to miserable really until we get to, let's say, Friday going into Saturday, where we drop dramatically. By then, that dew point temperature is going to finally fall below 60, but it's going to take a while. In the meantime, here's what we're dealing with. Air quality alert for Lewis, Longneck, Clarksville, Frankfort, Millsboro, Hollyville, Georgetown, Bryan, Stewart, Lowell Crossroads, and Gumboro. But not just there, but also in Kent County, places like Milford, Harrington, Statesville, Greenwood, Andrewsville, Edwardsville, Riverview, and all the way up towards Smyrna in the northern portions of the state as well. So here's what's happening. We're in that orange for today. We're supposed to get better tomorrow, which is great, but it's unhealthy for some, so you need to keep indoors, windows closed, limit the outdoor activities, and take shorter times to stay outside. And for longer outdoor tasks, take more breaks. That's going to be very important you do that. See, the storyline is this. We stay hot and hazy for Wednesday, and then later in the week we get stormy, and then the temperatures drop dramatically. But tomorrow it's about the sweltering and steamy conditions. 94 for the high in Georgetown and Millsboro. Just as an example, we're warming to 94 in Cambridge and Vienna, Federalsburg, and we'll get to 92 degrees at the very least. Places like Snow Hill as well as Berlin. Taking a look along the coast, everybody's going to be near that 90-degree mark, slightly above it, slightly below it, but the winds are going to be pushing out of the west and the southwest, keeping it steaming. So here's the deal. 104 right now. We go into Wednesday, we're looking for at least 103 to 104 for Wednesday. And even on Thursday, we're going to still crank up to 101 to perhaps 102 in most locations, particularly as you go farther inland. Rain chances diminish till we get to Thursday and Friday, and that's when things change dramatically. You see, here's Thursday. We have the rain that pulls through. Friday, the rain pulls through for Friday morning, Friday afternoon, and then even a little bit left over for early Saturday. Then it changes dramatically. So tonight, air quality alert is still active and 73 degrees. Tomorrow, feeling like 103 to 108, sweltering and steamy for tomorrow. That's going to be the range for tomorrow, if not even a little bit more than that, with winds out of the southwest. Then on Thursday, partly sunny skies, still humid, late thunderstorm. Now, I want you to watch this. We're going to take a little extra time on our extended forecast than what we usually do. All right, so you see this. We see the rain hits on Thursday, and then Friday, we look for a high of only 75 degrees on Friday. And something I have rarely done at the end of July, we're watching out for cool weather. Look at that Saturday and Sunday. Turn the air conditioner off over the weekend because you won't need it unless you just want to be really cold.
Thank you, Paul. Coming up tonight on Delmarva Sports Network at 8:30, it's USSSA softball. Then catch the final score at 10:30 p.m. And coming up next, the U.S. set to burn millions of dollars in birth control supplies despite offers to send them to women in need. Stay tuned on CoastTV News at 5.
Nearly $10 million worth of birth control purchased with U.S. taxpayer money is set to be destroyed. This comes as a result of the Trump administration dismantling U.S. aid. The State Department plans to burn the birth control. They expect it to cost $167,000 to destroy the supplies. The other option would be to send it to women overseas. Most of these items don't expire for another 2 to 3 years. The U.S. government previously turned down an offer from an organization to pay for shipping and repackaging those items.
New data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows hiring slowed down in June and job opportunities for U.S. workers shrank. There was an estimated 7 million job openings at the end of last month. That's down from more than almost 8 million the month before. Hiring also continued its tepid trend, with last month seeing the fewest numbers of hires since last year.
Let's go ahead and take a live look outside into Laurel. One more check on the forecast after this.
Just as a reminder, please be mindful of how you're going to spend your time outside for those who have chronic breathing problems. I mean, it's humid for us. I mean, for example, in Ocean City, we're 83 degrees, and that seems okay, but the inland areas a lot warmer than that. And here's the concern. The air quality alert is in effect for all of Sussex, both along the coast and inland. It stays in effect throughout the rest of the night, going into tomorrow, by the way. Our umbrella giveaway winner is George Pribulik of Milton. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration Home Remodeling. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. We also have the updates on the air quality there for you as well. 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Real quick notation. Take a look up. By this weekend, we're talking real cool conditions. That 63 might be readjusted to 59 degrees before it's all said and done.
All right, Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.